I started combining running and lifting a couple of years ago, and since then I've got leaner, fitter, stronger, faster, and more athletic than I've ever been before. I've gotten into the shape of my life and built a physique I'm genuinely proud of, whilst also improving my performance, achieving things that I never thought were possible, and massively improved my cardiovascular health and fitness. And to me, that's what hybrid training is all about. It's about being an all-rounder. You want to have the lean, athletic physique that you're super proud of, you can whip your t-shirt off, and you're genuinely comfortable in your own skin, but you also want to perform like an absolute machine and be able to go and smash half marathons and full marathons like it's no big deal. So if that's you and you want to look good, feel good, and perform good, then you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can start hybrid training. I'm going to break down the step-by-step process you need to follow to get leaner, fitter, stronger, and faster, whilst also highlighting a few of the big mistakes that most lads tend to make when it comes to balancing running and lifting. So let's get into it. The first thing you need is a simple plan. You do not want to be overcomplicating shit right out the gates. Just because your favorite fitness influencer has run a 100-kilometer ultra for breakfast doesn't mean that you can, or that you should, or that you even need to. A couple of lifts and a couple of runs each week is absolutely fine. There's just a few key principles that you need to make sure that you're sticking to. One of those lifts should be a running specific leg day. No, unfortunately, you can't keep skipping legs. You need to have the right blend of exercises and volume so that you're bulletproofing your legs and basically keeping you injury free so you can actually balance running and lifting in the first place. Not to mention, it will help improve your performance as well. The other lifts that you do throughout the week can predominantly be upper body focused sessions, and this is where you're really going to be building your physique. You got to think about it. Running is a single leg sport, meaning only one of your feet is in contact with the floor at any given moment in time, and your training needs to reflect that. You cannot get away with training legs like a typical gym bro, or even worse, like a bodybuilder, and expect to make progress. It's just not going to happen. This is where having the right blend of compound exercises, unilateral exercises, isolation exercises, and plyometric exercises comes into play, because each of these exercise types has a different purpose. For example, you should be using your compound exercises, things like your hip hinges and your squat patterns, to build overall strength. Unilateral movements like lunges are there to build single leg stability and reduce any imbalances that you've got. Isolation exercises are great for targeting weak points, and then plyometric exercises are predominantly used to increase power output and speed. But if you don't understand how to structure all of that correctly, then you're just going to end up making the same mistake that 99% of lads make, and that's going into the gym, doing a couple of sets of squats, a couple of sets of leg extensions, and then going home. And ultimately, this is only going to cause you to get injured, make zero progress, get fed up, and then eventually give up. As for your running, I'd keep this nice and simple to begin with and just split it down the middle. I'd make one of your runs an easy effort long run where you're basically focused on steadily building miles and just stacking volume, and I'd make the second run some sort of speed-based session where you're operating at slightly faster paces and trying to improve things like your VO2 max. This gives you a nice balance where you're gradually building miles and getting more confident being on your feet for longer periods of time, but also focusing on speed and actually getting quicker over time as well. Now, whilst you're here, I do actually have a free 10-week run and lift program designed to get you leaner and stronger whilst making you a better runner and progressing your miles. It contains everything you need and breaks down every single session step by step, so you know exactly what you should be doing. And if you want to grab yourself a completely free copy, all you've got to do is head to the link in the description, put your email in, and I'll send it over. Now you've got your plan sorted, the second thing you need to do is learn how to separate your hardest sessions. Because you're now running and lifting simultaneously, you need to organize your sessions correctly each week to prevent you from burning out and getting injured. And trust me, you do not want to be that guy that has a heavy leg day and the next day is following it up with a ridiculously tough run. I've been there and it's not fun at all. Not only is your performance going to take a back seat because you're absolutely knackered and under recovered, but you're also going to hate your life in the process and increase your risk of injury. 3 things that you want to try and avoid. So a nice simple rule of thumb is to separate your hardest sessions. Now for most lads, the hardest sessions in their week are going to be their lower body day and any speed work that they're doing, because that's done at a higher intensity. So give yourself a few rest days between these 2 sessions rather than trying to cram them in side by side. You'll thank yourself for it later on down the line. The third thing you need to do is keep your easy runs easy. I cannot stress this enough. Without a doubt, one of the biggest mistakes that new runners make is running every single run like it's some sort of race, and they're constantly chasing a PB. And to be honest with you, this is the advice that I wish someone told me when I first started running, because I used to do the exact same thing. Every single time I laced up my training trainers, I'd sprint out the door thinking I'm Usain Bolt chasing a PB, and it just left me tired, injured, and hating running. Your easy runs are there to build your aerobic capacity and improve your baseline fitness levels whilst still allowing your body to recover. And that's going to be very difficult to do if those easy runs are actually turning into, holy shit, this is really difficult, I'm struggling to breathe runs. So slow them down. I find this to be an issue a lot, especially with lads that come to work with me that want to start running and have previously got themselves into the gym. Because I get it, when it comes to the gym, you're supposed to train hard. You're supposed to train at a high intensity, take your sets close to failure. That is undoubtedly how you're going to build muscle and progress. But running's not like that. Not every single run is supposed to be max effort. In fact, very few of your runs actually should be. When you're just starting out, you want the majority of your runs to be easy so that you can focus on building mileage and stacking volume. As I've said previously, not only is this going to help improve your baseline fitness levels and actually make running longer distances easier, but it's also going to make running more enjoyable. And let's face it, if you absolutely hate it, you're not going to stick to it for very long. So it's important that you do learn to enjoy it. So when it comes to running, there's an element of leaving your ego at the door, slowing things down and understanding that not every single run is going to be ridiculously quick, and that's okay because it's not supposed to be. The fourth thing you need to do is treat recovery like a full-time job. When you first start running and lifting simultaneously, your body is going to be placed under a lot of stress, and it's not really going to know how to deal with it to begin with. And if you're not giving your body an opportunity to play catch up and recover, that's when problems occur. So each week it should be a non-negotiable to take at least 1 to 2 full rest days, which if you download my free 10-week hybrid training plan in the link in the description, it will already have outlined for you. Alongside those rest days, you want to make sure you're keeping your protein intake nice and high. Around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is absolutely fine. So for reference, if you weigh around 175 pounds, you'll eat about 175 grams of protein. And you want to get very serious about improving the duration and the quality of your sleep. Each night you should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, full stop. But don't just leave it there, go one step further and work on improving the quality of that sleep. How you do this comes down mostly to your evening routine. Limit caffeine past 3 p.m, go for an evening walk, get off the laptop, get off the phone, close down the devices around an hour before you actually want to go to bed, and spend time properly winding down and relaxing. And then try and go to bed and wake up at the same time most days. This is going to improve your body's circadian rhythm, which in turn will improve the quality of deep sleep that you get, as well as stabilize your body's energy level throughout the course of the day. Without a doubt, recovery is the most neglected aspect of hybrid training, and that's why so many lads are constantly getting injured and having to sit out on the sidelines. Trust me when I say, if you prioritize it, you tick the boxes, you will be able to train harder for longer, you'll stay injury-free, and you'll make way more progress. And then the fifth thing you need to do is set a goal. Once you've got a couple of those pillars in place and you're training consistently, you're making some progress, get serious about working towards a specific event or goal. Not enough lads appreciate and understand the importance of working towards a specific goal, and that's why they constantly fall off track, they drift through the process and then wonder why they're not making the progress that they want to make. It's because they've got no fucking reason to. Start off small and sign up to things like your local 5Ks and 10Ks and gradually progress. Build it up to things like half marathons and marathons as you get more confident. Not only are race days the best days ever because you meet so many amazing people, you get such a great buzz, and 99% of the time you're going to have an absolute blast smashing PBs and enjoying yourself, but it also whets the appetite because it makes you realize what you're capable of achieving. You want to go out and smash more of them. When you set a goal and get clear about what it is you're actually working towards, you also have more of a reason to stay consistent and adhere to the process, which in the long run is going to benefit you massively because again, you're just going to get better results. So set a goal and work towards it. As silly and dramatic as it may sound, hybrid training has changed my life, and I truly believe it has the power to change yours as well if you do it correctly. So over the next 6 months, I want you to apply all the info that I've given you in this video. And if you do that, I guarantee you'll not only be in the shape of your life, but you'll have a newfound love for hybrid training and a burning desire and passion that will leave you never questioning your fitness again. Of course, if you want to make life 10 times easier for yourself, you can download the 10-week run and lift program via the link in the description. But if you have enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up. Let me know any questions that you have down below. I will be replying to all of them. And don't forget to subscribe so I can see you in the next one.